Oh, no, sorry, I was sleeping. The Super Bowl was just on.
United States begins with Amici and the ball game is over. Alan Amici has scored the touchdown and the Baltimore Colts are the professional football champions of the world. And his pass is broken up by Tatum. It's off.
Goes to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes. Unbelievable. Incredible. Second and goal. Pass. Got it.
"2018, the New England Patriots were just coming off of a 13-3 regular season and one of Tom Brady's best Super Bowl performances ever, and a loss. Still, they were the heavy favorites to represent the AFC in the big game. The year started out weird for them. They won their home opener against the Houston Texans by a score of 27-20, but it looked a little shaky. First of all, midway through the third quarter, the score was 24-6. The Patriots, I guess, decided that was good enough and completely shut down the rest of the game, except for a 35-yard field goal in the fourth quarter. Secondly, Tom Brady threw a pick. Okay, it's not that dramatic. Quarterbacks throw picks, it happens, I understand that. But you have to understand, this was the first opening game of the year that Brady had thrown a pick in since 2013. It wasn't even a good throw either, it was well behind the receiver. Former All-Pro safety Tyrann Mathieu just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Anyway, the Pats went on to lose 2 straight games against the Jaguars and Lions? That can't be right, hold on.
From 54, Gostkowski kick is going to be wide of the mark. And Jacksonville will be set up at the 44. Grant, the running back. Pass to the end zone, and it is pulled down. It is caught for the touchdown. Dante Moncrief, the former Colts. First down from the Patriots, 24. Going to the end zone. He's there, and it is caught by Cole. This time a much more conventional catch. 3rd and 3. Bortles with time. Lofts it. Wide open. Safarian Jenkins with the Jaguar touchdown. 11 straight touchdowns in goal-to-go situations before this one fizzles out at the 10. Brady. Ball is out. Fumbled. Jacksonville with the recovery. So now, still throwing. Anything but conservative. Jacksonville crosses midfield. Westbrook still in bounds. Got a blocker up ahead. It's Cole. He's racing down the sideline for the touchdown.
And the kick is good, so at least it ends with a score. Take it to him. Stafford fires. That'll be caught. And the ball comes out. It's a little short of the goal line. They keep the ball. It's Galladay who couldn't get in.
Extended the ball beyond the goal line prior to losing control. But it's a touchdown.
On a roll. Stafford deep. Got a man. Touchdown. Marvin Jones. 2-yard attempt. Baker's Manor from 38-25. And his third one.
Huh. They even lost to the Matt Patricia-led Detroit Lions. To put that into perspective for you, that is the same team that got thoroughly thrashed by Adam Gase and the New York Jets in Week 1. So 3 games into the season, and they were 1-2. The last time a Brady-Belichick team was below 500 at this point in the year was 2012. Not only that, but their run game was sort of struggling. They had just a combined 293 rushing yards through the first 3 games. The Houston Texans game alone contributed 122 to that. Hell, their rushing leader had just 86 yards to his name at that point. You know who that was, by the way? Rex Burkhead. Oh yeah, and just as a cherry on top, he suffered a neck injury in that Lions game that forced him to sit out the next 8 games. In search of a way to replace his production, the Patriots turned to a new face in their organization, Sony Michel. Michel was a former Georgia Bulldog who averaged nearly 8 yards per carry his senior year at college. This dominant year earned him a higher draft position, and he ended up going at pick 31 in the first round to New England. As early as week 4, the Patriots noticed his impact on their run game when he was the bell cow.
Play with the lead for once in a while. Michel on second down, long one's got the first, holding with the block. The pressure and strain off the passing game. First down and 10. Michel Devlin trying to get a block, and he does. And block for Brady as well in pass protection. Second goal, Brown a block, and Sony Michel has just scored his first NFL touchdown.
On first down as we start the second quarter, Michel. Sony Michel, the rookie.
Michel again. Michel busts free, gets into Chiefs territory from the 49-yard line. Michel, look at that hole. He exploits that. Number 46. Give it to Michel, and he will burst.
But he can get outside. Brady on a dump off. Michel again carried the ball time and time again at the end of the game to help seal the victory. Michel. Second and 2. They'll try to run for the first down, and will. Sony Michel, New England 30-yard line. Motion man Patterson. It's a handoff to Sony Michel. Gets to the outside for a first.
New England wouldn't lose again until week 10, a game in which Michel barely played due to a knee strain that caused him to miss 2 games. During that 6-game winning stretch, Tom Brady was also completely on fire, completing 68% of his passes for 1,850 yards and 11 touchdowns. Averaging that out over a 17-game season, and he would have had 5,242 yards if he had been able to keep up that pace. Despite a small little skid in weeks 14 and 15, the Patriots were still cruising. By the end of the regular season, they were 5th in the league in terms of offensive yards gained, as well as rushing yards, bolstered by the return of a healthy Sony Michel. They also boasted the league's 7th stingiest defense in terms of scoring allowed. Finishing the year at 11-5, which was quite low for that era of New England Patriot football, meant that they actually would not be the number 1 seed in the AFC. That honor belonged to the Kansas City Chiefs. The 2018 Chiefs were an exciting team to watch. Led by what was essentially a rookie in Patrick Mahomes, the league still had no idea just how good he would become and how unsufferable the Chiefs would be. In his first year as the full-time starter, Mahomes passed the 5,000-yard passing mark, something that had only happened 10 times before in NFL history. 5 of those were by one guy, by the way. Mahomes also had 50 touchdowns, which was far and away the most by any quarterback that year. On top of all of this, they also scored the most by anyone in the NFL and outgained every team as well. To put it mildly, fans were pumped for this team. There was just one problem: Andy Reid. You see, Reid was a very well-respected offensive mind and a coach that would often win more than he lost in the regular season. When the playoffs came around, though, it was a different story. At that point in his coaching career, his playoff coaching record was just 11-13, with his last deep run coming back in 2008 when he was still with the Philadelphia Eagles. He had never won a ring before. His only chance at one was squashed by Tom Brady in 2004. So many fans just didn't trust him to get the job done when it mattered most. Both the Chiefs and the Pats started off the playoffs with what was essentially a tune-up game. For Kansas City, it was the chance to absolutely thrash Andrew Luck in what would turn out to be his final NFL game. For New England, it was the annual let's make Phillip Rivers their bitch game. Both teams didn't break much of a sweat. The real test would come next week, when they would meet each other at Arrowhead to decide who would rep the AFC in the Super Bowl. Championship Sunday came, but they would have to sit and wait, at least at the beginning, because the NFC got their game first, and the matchup was a doozy. The team hosting the game was the New Orleans Saints. Coming off of a 13-3 dominant regular season, the Saints opened the playoffs against the reigning champion in the Philadelphia Eagles. This, by the way, was the second year in a row that Nick Foles was playing hero for that city. Obviously, 2017 ended in the title run, but most people tend to forget 2018. Carson Wentz, again, got hurt late in the year, and Foles led them to the playoffs. This time, though, they would have to beat a surprisingly hard-nosed Bears team in the wildcard round.
And, oh, he hits the upright again! That's impossible!
They won. So they packed their bags and headed to New Orleans. The Eagles dominated the Saints in the first quarter of that game, jumping out to an early 14-0 lead. Unfortunately for them, the Saints' defense, which had been middle of the pack all year, suddenly turned into the 85 Bears. Unable to get much going offensively led to their own defense getting tired. And you can only keep Drew Brees in check for so long.
On a 3rd and goal, Brees stands in, throws Thomas the catch, but he's dragged down by LeBlanc at the 2.
See if they did some kind of get Kamara in the backfield.
You ready for
4th and goal, Brees looking to throws a fade, touchdown, Keith Kirkwood. So here we go, Brees back to throw, and from his own end zone, gets it over the middle, where he's got completion to Benjamin Watson, the longtime tight end. That is Kamara in the backfield. Brees stands in, fires far side. There's a completion again. Brees, pressure, stands in. There's Kamara. First catch of the day, and a big one. Stays on his feet inside the 40. Snap and hold are good, and Lutz is up, and he is good again. After that, it's a 2nd and 20. Brees back at quarterback, sees some pressure, throws. Thomas has it. Michael Thomas. Saints need to get down to the 16 for a first down. It's Brees. Steps up and runs. Instead will throw. It's caught. It's a first down. They're going to throw from Michael Thomas. Coming this. It's going to be a touchdown. High snap. Nice job there. Kick is perfect.
Even after New Orleans hit that field goal, there was still this sense that Foles' magic would save the Eagles once more. And it started happening. Again. Foles was doing it. He was going to march this team right down the field and...
Foles back throws. Intercepted! Went right through Jeffrey's hands! It's Lattimore!
Jeffrey, no! How dare you? This is heresy! You let down the mighty Big Dick Nick. You will pay for this. Anyway, the Saints won. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, we had another hot, sexy young team that was climbing the ranks of the NFC. The Los Angeles Rams. You know how I said that the Chiefs were number 1 in offensive yards and scoring? Yeah, well, number 2 was the Rams. In fact, they even outscored the Chiefs in the most exciting game of the regular season. That also happened to feature the worst possible uniform matchup they possibly could have had. Besides the fashion nightmare taking place on the field, the game was a beautiful one. Back and forth, counterpunch, all night from these two up-and-coming powerhouses. And not just offense either, both defenses had a massive impact on this game. But with the Rams winning, they really solidified their name in the running for the Super Bowl. I mean, who was going to stop the absolute explosion of offensive talent they had? The Cowboys? Not really. In the divisional round, they only led that game for like a quarter. So just like the AFC, the two powerhouses in the NFC met each other to determine who was going to the Super Bowl. It was the Saints. The answer was New Orleans. At least until the fourth quarter, when a 24-yard field goal tied the teams up at 20 apiece. It was put up or shut up time for the Saints. So they dinked and dunked their way into field goal range, eating up as much time as they possibly could in the hopes of not giving the ball back to the second best offense in the NFL. It was 3rd and 10 at the Rams' own 12-yard line. If they convert, the Saints could run out the clock and kick a field goal to go to just the second Super Bowl in the illustrious career of Drew Brees.
Quick snap. Brees. Pass is incomplete. No flag for Tommy Lee Lewis. Nickel Roby-Coleman delivered a hit.
The Saints got fucking robbed. As a fan of the NFL, this is one of the biggest stains in the game that I love. Not that the Rams played bad, necessarily, or that the Saints couldn't have stopped them in overtime, but didn't. I understand this wasn't the only reason they lost. And I'm not even a Saints fan. In fact, I loathe the refs screw us over constantly mentality that wore thin in the following years since this game. But yes, they did get absolutely screwed over in a massive way in this game. The Rams played well the whole year, so it's not like they didn't deserve it in their own regard. But this game forever sullies what could have been the best championship Sunday in NFL history. The AFC game kicked off just after this. Many were hoping to see a Brady Breeze Super Bowl. But now that dream was crushed, the popular matchup suddenly switched. People now wanted a sequel to that primetime epic earlier in the year. At half, however, it wasn't looking good. Forget scoring touchdowns, the Chiefs hadn't even managed a field goal at that point. But as soon as the team came out of break, the Chiefs' offense got hot.
And guess what? That quarterback's someone, there's magic, and they can just make stuff happen.
Here he goes to the end zone, and it's caught by Kelsey for a touchdown.
And throw quick routes and move the chains.
They're behind him, and he's going to take off with it.
We're trying to say you're not going to run this, but they should still try if they could to the left.
Uh-oh. Little sidearm connection. Mahomes rolling out. Throws it. Caught for the touchdown. Damian Williams.
There's a chance they're coming right after him with everyone again.
Coming to the near side to Williams. He's got a whole wide open field. And the Chiefs have taken the lead.
Scoring 3 touchdowns in 3 straight possessions, suddenly Kansas City found themselves on top of the great New England Patriots in the 4th quarter of the AFC Championship. Need I remind you, this was Mahomes' first year as a starter, and they were still dethroning the greatest dynasty in NFL history. The lead didn't last long. In fact, neither team could pull away in the 4th quarter. Suddenly became an offensive shootout. A Sony Michel touchdown was countered by the Chiefs' own running game, a 2-yard rushing score by Damian Williams. Now under the 2-minute warning, the Patriots were once again on the ropes. Unlike New Orleans, the Pats needed a touchdown on their final drive to win. So on 3rd down at the Chiefs' 34-yard line, they were pushing for the first. The Chiefs had struggled to stop Gronk all day long, so it made sense for Brady to look his way in the biggest moment of the game.
They're going to chip him on this one. This ball's got to go outside to one of the receivers at a double move.
Hands in the pocket. Flags out. Ball's picked. Ball's intercepted and comes out of the hands of Ward for a moment. But he had it long enough, I believe, but he got a flag down.
Offside. Defense, number 55, lined up in the neutral zone. The 5-yard penalty will replay 3rd down.
D. Ford. A name that, if said in Missouri after this game, filled everyone with a blinding rage. While some argue that this game is also tainted just like that Rams game, this doesn't quite sting the same. Sure, the Patriots received some favorable calls throughout, but most super teams do. The D. Ford penalty was the correct call, unlike this. This isn't so much ref ball as it is just a player making a crucial mistake at the absolute worst possible time. New England would end up scoring later on that drive. But Kansas City wasn't dead. Not yet.
Not protecting a touchdown or anything yet.
Reach about 10 yards to give him a chance. Flag out. Pass down the field. Caught at the 21 by Robinson. Now to tie it. Butker's kick. It is good all the way.
To overtime we go. Well, except for the Chiefs' defense. Mahomes sat and watched as Brady did what he did best. Dink and dunk his way to a game-winning score.
Has to be a run.
2nd and goal. To Burkhead. Burkhead to the end zone. Hello, Super Bowl. New England is heading back again for the 3rd straight year.
Mahomes never even got the ball. And just like that, the Patriots were in the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years. Side note, I was on vacation when the Super Bowl was actually played. We had gone on a cruise just before, but we were back in the States for the game. Yeah, guess what city we left from? That's right, New Orleans. The atmosphere in the city was intense, and not in a good way. So many people were boycotting the game, everyone on the streets, not watching, almost being blacked out in the area at one point. But I pressed on, determined to at least enjoy the game despite what the league took from us. What did I get for this optimism? Only one of the worst games of football ever played. You know that primetime epic I was talking about earlier? Yeah, this game was the exact opposite. Whereas that game had both the offense and defense making huge plays, this game had neither. Sure, it was low scoring, which would lead you to believe that both defenses were balling out. Not really. No, it was just ineffective offense on both sides. At least the Patriots had somewhat of an excuse. They were an aging team led by a 41-year-old quarterback. But the Rams? The sexy new team that regularly put up 30-plus points a game? Nope. Completely shut down. Partially because Bill Belichick exploited a weakness in Sean McVay's running schemes, which were a massive part of the team's overall success. But also because, again, they just didn't convert chances when they were actually there. What could have been an epic Bray Breeze final hurrah game for both of them, or a brand new, sexy Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes rivalry part 2, ended in... sorry, this game is just so boring, I keep falling asleep. Anyway, New England ended up winning this snooze fest of a game, and secured Tom Brady his 6th ring, and the Patriots spot as the most dominant dynasty in NFL history. At least for now. But that's a story for another day. For now, let's just say, I think that Patrick Mahomes fellow would be back again, and again, and again, and again.